Hello everyone, today I'll cover many different high-level gold farms you can do on the WoW Classic Anniversary realms, but also cover different strategies I use in order to increase the gold that I make. Maybe you're already familiar with WeGoers. Here you can import this layer swapping tool that allow you to easily swap between the different layers. As you can see right here, there's currently 4. With the other add-on Nova World Buff, you can then see the current layer you're on. This will also be marked, or well, shown right above the clock. But why are these add-ons so important for our gold making? Well, if you're for example hunting for a rare creature, a chest, or simply just looking for an area without too much competition, then it's gonna be important that you can easily and quickly swap between the different layers, so you can get to a location with next to no competition. As you can see right here, I'm also looting a chest, and the moment I've done it, I'm trying to swap layer. Sometimes there can be a cooldown, other times it will be done pretty much instantly. In this case, it took around 10 seconds. And these two add-ons are simply just so amazing, especially if you like to chest hunt and if you're lucky enough to get a rare item, just like I did in this case. Anyway, onto some gold farms. The first thing I like to farm for is the formula Enchant weapon Crusader. This is a rare reload drop chance from the Scarlet Spellbinders, which can be found in Western Plaguelands at this location, close to the road, but also at the tower. You can head here at around level 55 and that way level to 60 and hopefully get a couple of formulas. Just remember there is going to be a lot of competition and not that many creatures to kill, so it's not going to be an efficient way to level, but maybe you're lucky enough to make a lot of gold. Next on the list is the Golden Pearl, which usually sells for 6 to 9 gold each. You get these in the Big Mouth clams, which can be farmed at around level 40 and all the way up to max level. So it is a decent way to level up your character, also because there are so many different creatures you can slay and hopefully get them. Just remember, there is a small chance of getting the Golden Pearl, which is also why the price is increasing. This is one of my most favorite farming locations in Tanaris, but if there's a lot of competition, I always try to swap layer. If there's still too much competition, I would then like to swap to, for example, Varellas, where there's going to be a lot of nagas here on the shore, but also in the cave. It is of course quicker to just quest, but this way you can make a lot of gold as you're leveling up. We're talking about 50 gold every single level, starting from around level 40. Definitely useful if you would like to get your epic mount as quickly as possible. And when you get to around level 50, you could then swap to a shower at this location. At the shore, but also close to the beach, there's going to be so many different nagas. The moment you reach max level, you could always just continue to quest, because you're going to be granted a lot of additional gold when you do these at level 60. On top of this, you might also be able to get high level green weapons, and these usually sell for anywhere between 2 and all the way up to 5 gold each. So yeah, by questing, you can also make a decent amount of gold. And as you're gearing up, do the different dungeon and raid quest, as these also grants you between 2 to 6 gold each. So not only are you gearing up, you're also making gold at the same time. And no, not everyone is a mage where you can just AoE farm or boost people to make a lot of gold, which is why I cover all of these things, so it covers all the different classes, or will allow them to make gold with this guide. Next up is the tip for those of you who have gold either in retail or Cataclysm. You can purchase WoW tokens or game time with this gold. If you have a guildie you really trust, you could start trading gold. So for example, give that player game time or well gold for game time in exchange of gold on the new WoW Classic Anniversary realms, and that way make a bit of gold in case you don't plan to use this either in Cataclysm or retail. But be aware, you should never trade with a random level 1 character in trade chat, not because of the chance of getting scammed, but mainly because these can simply be gold sellers. The moment you have done everything and you have actually got your gold, you will probably also be banned in next to no time, simply because you will be seen either as a gold seller yourself, or maybe as a buyer or someone who's working together with the gold seller. So be cautious and only trade with people you know or have played together with for a long time. The next material I'm going to highlight is going to be the Elemental Fire, something you will use for the Greater Fire Protection Potion, not only in Phase 1 and 2, but also in Phase 3 when we're going to get Blackwing Lair. I like to farm these at lower levels, starting at around level 36 here in Arathi Highlands. If this spot ends up being crowded, then you could always swap to Syrian Gorge. In the middle of the map there's going to be this lava area, or well, heated area, with these elementals, and you guessed it, they drop the elemental fire. There's of course going to be competition no matter where you'll be going, but if so, well, then you could always try another location, which is on Crater. Another material that usually sells pretty well is going to be the Larval Acid. You collect this in Eastern Plaguelands, but be aware the drop chance is extremely low. So it's not something I would probably do if I were a 60, because there's a lot of different ways to make a lot more gold. But if you're questing, or well, simply leveling up, then this could be a decent farm. For those of you that would like to give it a shot, make sure to also pick up the quest for these creatures. This can be found at Tyrian Fortring, right here in the western part of Eastern Plaguelands. The good thing is that these creatures can be found in most of the zone, so what you can do at the same time is to look for high level gathering materials. Next on the list is a consumable, the Winterfall Firewater. This is dropped from these Winterfall creatures in Winter Spring. There's going to be many different locations, and the drop chance is honestly not too bad at all, but don't expect to get them every single pull. I like to farm these either here at the village, but also more to the west, either at this camp or another camp more to the north. For those of you with a gather profession, I would also highly recommend you to max these out before you go to these high level zones. I mean, why not increase your chance of getting yourself maybe a Black Lotus or a Rich Thorium Vein, because these kind of materials are selling very well right now. And some of them are also pretty expensive. For example, the Blue Sapphire or the Icon Crystal. These usually sell for 30 to 40 gold, at least on my server. And for those of you with alchemy, make sure to unlock the Transmute Arcanite. Here you will have a 2 days cooldown where you can turn an Icon Crystal and a Thorium bar into an Arcanite bar. This you can then sell for a decent profit, or even sell the cooldown. I usually charge around 5 gold for this. This is why it's also pretty handy to have all characters at level 35 with profession cooldowns, simply to be making passive income. Another thing I'm also continuing to do is to buy Mage Reef for less than 4 silver each and Silk Cloth for less than 2 silver each. Yeah, yet another way to be making gold without doing much. I usually just go AFK and convert these into bandages, but it's important that I purchase the Mage Reef for less than 4 silver each and the Silk Cloth for less than 2 silver each to be making a profit from rendering the bandages. Another thing you should always do in the open world is to kill rare creatures, as they have a guaranteed chance of dropping at least a green item. You can get yourself a rare scanning add-on that will warn you whenever you are close to a rare creature, even without knowing this. And when you get yourself different lockboxes, don't vendor these or trade them to people. You should actually find a rogue who can level up lockpicking, but also open up these, as there's many different green items, in some cases even rare or epic items, or different unique recipes and patterns that sells for a high amount of gold. Alright, so this is what I had for you today. For more classic videos in the future, make sure to subscribe to the channel, or maybe even like this video, simply to help me as a content creator. As always, thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. Peace.